Brother, Can You Spare a Clarinet is quite a nice episode of Arthur. This is the second segment of the fourth episode of the sixth season, and in this one, we learn quite quickly that Binky, although a great clarinet player, has got basically all he can out of his instrument. It's starting to sound really terrible, it's really old and worn down, and it keeps squeaking, and really he just needs to replace the reed, but apparently it's not going to be as straightforward as that, and he decides that he's not going to try out when the most popular youth orchestra is holding auditions to invite children to join the orchestra. And all of the children are really excited about this. Everybody wants to have a go. Even Muffy wants to have a go. She's got no musical talent, but she's got a Stradivarius, so she thinks she's in with a chance. But Binky, despite clearly being one of the best musicians in the school's orchestra, doesn't want to play. And there's this bit in it where I feel like it's maybe underplayed, where he decides to go back to the tough customers. He's had enough of being sweet clarinet playing Binky. He goes back to the tough customers and wants to be seen as a hard man again. And I feel like they didn't quite handle that narrative very well, because that would have made sense if the clarinet wasn't broken and that wasn't a factor. If it was just the fact that he was about to propel his career through this youth orchestra, maybe he was reevaluating his choices. The fact that he was forced to stop playing because of the squeaky clarinet meant that he wasn't really making that decision to step away from it and go to the tough customers. So I feel like they were trying to do too much with this episode, and it didn't work. They shouldn't have really had the tough customers involved, or they shouldn't have made it that the clarinet was broken, because those things don't tie together very effectively. His motivations aren't that believable. But nevertheless, I really like Binky, and I really like the outcome of this episode, which I won't divulge, but I think it worked very well. And I think this sense that Binky needed somebody to approve of him, and to say, actually, no, you're good, worked very well. And maybe that's what he was seeking from the tough customers. Maybe he wanted the tough customers to say, hey, Binky, you're a hard man, you're great. But also maybe he needed the youth orchestra to say, you can play well. So I don't know. Part of me thinks it's not a great, or not a very well developed narrative. I feel like they were maybe trying too hard and they had too many loose threads that didn't tie together very well. But ultimately, I really like the narrative. Binky is a great character and I thought he was really great in this. Definitely, definitely I think something people will be able to relate to as well if they're in Binky's situation. Ultimately, I thought Brother, Can You Spare a Clarinet was a very nice episode.